Good morning, Desiree. What's happening where I am now is that the protesters, mainly from the DRC, who live in South Africa, many of them exiled, many of them refugees who ran away from the conditions in their own country, have started assembling at Library Gardens in the center of Johannesburg, and they will start marching to Luthuli House around 12 p.m. Now, what I can tell you is that, as you know, more than 500,000 people from the DRC have left their country because of the political turmoil in that country, and we know that many of them are here in South Africa, and that's a country of 78 million people that is mineral rich. But many of these people here say that the former colonizers, Belgium, may even be behind the continued instability in that country. Now, what they are pleading is for the stepping down president, who is Joseph Kabila, who is not contesting the December election, and his government to allow Moise Katumbi to go back to the country to contest the election. But of course, there are other parties, and they are hoping, and they want SADC and South Africa in particular to assist the country to have a free and fair election. Now, to speak to me now is the chairperson or the deputy chairperson of the coordination team of Ensemble here in South Africa. Now, if you can just tell us, sir, what is your particular message that you're taking to Luthuli House?
The message is, first of all, a gratitude and thanks for ANC involvement. You remember President Ramaphosa traveled lately to Kinshasa, and he went to Angola, Namibia, and Zambia just to follow up on the resolving the crisis in DRC. So we have to engage, to continue engaging with the ANC and the government, so that we put pressure on Kabila, so that we will have a fair and free election, because so far, you know, twice Kabila failed to organize the election according to the constitution. So for 2 years, he failed to organize that. So we are in a crisis. So we need SADC pressure and intervention so that we can have free and fair election and not allow Kabila to contest for a third term, which is not allowed in our constitution.
But of course, he has already told SADC that he's stepping down in Namibia, and that means that people like Moise Katumbi should be free to contest, except that he was not able to file his own candidacy. What are you hoping will happen? Because obviously the date in terms of the act in the DRC has passed for him to file his candidacy to contest the election.
Well, you know, as the history tells us, before Kabila becomes elected leader in 2006 and 2011, he came to power after the death of his father, the former President Laurent Kabila. He came to power thanks to the Sun City Agreement. So the way now we are dragging this process, it is a crisis already. So we believe that that pressure can bring to such an agreement, so that all the political players and candidates like Moise Katumbi, which we think that the charges that the government is bringing for an international warrant of arrest, it is fabricated, it is a bogus charge. Kabila is doing that just to try to disqualify potential candidates that will stop him or his candidate to win election. So we think that in this particular time we must appeal to SADC so that we have an inclusive process, so that Mr. Katumbi or Mr. Jean-Pierre Bemba, because we presume that somehow the government is plotting to keep him out as well. So we don't want those foul play, and then we want SADC and South Africa, who have done so far well for us, because South Africa has been committed in all the discussion that took place, like I say, in Namibia lately, in Zambia, and Angola. So we want to keep engaging with ANC as the governing party.
Now, we know that President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed former President Thabo Mbeki to go to the DRC and try and ensure that there is an an agreement within the parties that are contesting. We know that Felix Tshisekedi, we know that Jean-Pierre Bemba are some of the key candidates who will be contesting this election, including former president or outgoing president Joseph Kabila's party. But the UNC is another party whose members have been in South Africa following those upheavals in the country, and they are also represented here. What in particular would you like to see happen?
In particular, I would like to see the elections being done fairly in my country of origin, that I say the Republic Democratic of Congo, because apparently we just noticed that the actual government doesn't want to step down. If you want to say it, Joseph Kabila doesn't want to step down, and Congolese are living in permanent sufferance. We want it to be ending. We want it to come to the end, because we cannot take it anymore. That's why we are gathering together here by Luthuli House and try to put our strength together and put pressure on that government, and also to plead to the SADC to get involved into the matter so that peace can regain in my country, that I say the Republic Democratic of Congo.
But of course, as we've said, President Kabila has already even committed to SADC that he won't be contesting this election now. What will it take for you as the people of the DRC, many of whom we understand had to leave your country because of the situation that was not conducive to your lives? What will it take for you to go back and vote?
Excuse me, what?
What will it take for you to go back to the DRC and vote in that upcoming election in December?
No, all we need, once everything is established, everything is planned, we don't even have a time to waste. We have to go back and vote as a citizen, Congolese citizen, because that's what we want. However, we also need the inclusivity. We just against that politic system of the DRC Congo of putting other leader on the side. By there, I see Moise Katumbi Chapwe. It should be go back. I mean, we have to be together. I'm sure they want to put some other leaders on the sides because they are afraid that the union of opposite in Congo will definitely step down forcefully by fire, by force, that system. So all we need everyone to be back in Congo so that Congolese will sit around the table and make a decision for their own country. And that's why we're here.
Well, as you can hear, Desiree, confidence in the electoral process is the key message coming out of this march today. It's expected to begin around 12 p.m. to go to Luthuli House to hand over a memorandum to South Africa's ruling party, but also to appreciate the efforts that President Ramaphosa, I suppose, in his capacity as the president, but also in his capacity as the chairperson of SADC, the efforts that he has made up to now in trying to ensure a free and fair election in the DRC. Desiree?
Nthakoana, it's quite interesting that they are marching to Luthuli House as opposed to the union buildings. Doesn't this, won't this hold their process back a bit in a way?
Well, from what they're telling us is that they understand where the roots of power come from in terms of the policy of South Africa, that the policy of the ANC is in fact the bedrock of the policy of South Africa and the foreign policy of South Africa. So when I spoke to them earlier, they said to me that what they would like to see is the ruling party in South Africa, because they are marching as political parties, not necessarily as members of the government or the people, the ordinary people of the DRC, but they want a political party that is holding power here in South Africa to talk to the president, to be the one that influences what the president eventually says in terms of the DRC. Desiree?
That's an important question. The DRC President Joseph Kabila's commitment at the SADC meeting over the weekend that he is leaving power and he will allow a democratic process to unfold in his country. Does that mean anything to them? Does it mean that the one threat that they were always protesting against is out of the way, or does he still remain a problem?
as you heard, I spoke to the two candidates who are here, or at least the two people that I spoke to who represent two different political parties, to say to them, President Kabila has already said that he's stepping down. He said he will not be contesting the election, but they say that they do not have confidence because in the past, the elections were supposed to be held in 2016. He postponed them twice already, saying that they would be held in 2017, and now we are at the end of 2018, and now they're saying that they want SADC, they want South Africa particularly, to play an important role in ensuring that he adheres to that promise that he has made, so that the country can have free and fair elections, and so that he himself, in fact, does not contest the election according to what the Constitution dictates, because according to the Constitution, he has taken his 2 terms, and as of 2016 December, he should not have been president. Desiree?
Thank you so much for your time, Nthakoana Ngatane, there with a group of protesters from the DRC, especially from the party, Ensemble political party, that is protesting the government's refusal to let Mr. Moise Katumbi back into the country.
Now the news